Utah Jazz did exactly what you'd anticipate tonight against the Houston Rockets. They notched their 6th straight win. Rudy Gobert returns. The Jazz blow out the Rockets 135-101. They jumped out early, and they kept rolling all night late. We're talking about it next in Postcast. David Locke along with Ron Boone. It was the number 1 offense against the number 30 ranked defense. Jazz jumped out to a 14-2 run. In Rudy Gobert's first 2 stints, they outscored the Rockets 25-2. This was not a big surprise.
Well, it's not a big surprise. 22 minutes there for Rudy Gobert. But you know what, David?
What?
I got you in trouble. I got you in trouble.
You did get me in trouble. Are we telling the story?
I got you in trouble.
Are you going to make me tell? Are we not talking about? By the way, did the pizza guy? Did the pizza?
There was 2 of them there tonight.
Did they ever adopt it? Did they ever?
No, that was.
Am I supposed to tell the story about how I got in trouble tonight?
I think you should.
Okay. The safest thing in the world for me every night is that my wife is not listening to the broadcast for a few reasons. 1, she doesn't listen. 2, we live in Park City and you don't get the signal. So, I'm safe. I'm totally safe. There's no way she's listening. So Ron opens the broadcast tonight talking about what, Ron?
I changed everything.
You did
what? To Valentine's Day.
And
I had to buy my own candy because,
right.
Yeah.
So Ron tells this sad story that he had to buy and bring his own candy. And I said, well, Ron, when I woke up this morning, I got scolded for eating too much granola. Welcome to my Valentine's. I bought 2 dozen roses for my wife, and what I got was scolded for eating too much granola. Because I was trying to make my friend, my cohort, who had to bring his own Valentine's Day candy better. Little did I know that our friends that were in town, Uber and Lyft, didn't show to pick them up. So my wife drove them nicely because she's wonderful, fabulous, outstanding woman. Drove them to the airport, and my wife was listening. I just texted my wife to ask
you can go
whether
home with
the
me.
door was locked.
You can go home with me.
Whether I could come home tonight. So Ron Boone got me in trouble tonight. All right, Jazz beat down the Rockets.
Yeah, they did.
Do we need an all-star break, Ron?
And the lady in the pink jacket is still here.
If you missed the whole pink, Donovan's shoes matched her. She got a pink purse that matches her pink satin jacket. All right. Rudy Gobert came back tonight, and in the first 2 stints that Rudy Gobert was on the floor, the score was 25-2. So you think I'm going to go out on a limb? We're really good if we have Rudy Gobert.
Absolutely, without a doubt. He only played 22 minutes tonight, but as well as Whiteside and Udoka has played there, you can just Rudy's numbers speak for itself. I mean, he just protects the rim. He has so much respect. He alters shots. The perimeter defense is definitely good. So those minutes that he was out there on the floor, he did get thrown out of the ballgame.
He did. He got ejected in his first game back too, after 6 minutes left in the game. Really just an all-around solid performance. I mean, the only, Mike Conley went 1 of 8, and his only field goal was a lob to Rudy that went in the basket instead of getting to Rudy, but he had 10 assists, right? Yeah. Donovan Mitchell had 30.6 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals for Mike Conley as well. Eric Pascal played with great juice tonight. Daniel House was out there. What did you see out of Daniel House?
I'm watching him defensively. I know he can shoot the basketball, and I thought he passed up a couple of shots here tonight there as well. But you can expect that. But I'm watching him defensively because David, that's what the Jazz have been lacking for the last couple of years. There's some guys out on the wing that can defend, and I think if he can do that, joining Force, and we did see them on the floor at the same time tonight, that's really going to help the Jazz perimeter perimeter defense.
I know Rudy Gay gets healthy at some point here. He's got the experience. He's got the clout. He's got the years. Like, we're probably going to need him. But it is, at least for the regular season, the energy level of Forrest, Pascal, and House, three guys that weren't in the rotation, is very different than the energy level than the guys that were playing those minutes prior.
It definitely is, and I think it's noticeable. We've heard players talk about it. Not only that, we've heard Quinn Snyder talk about it there as well. So it's something I'm sure they want to change their just their effort out there, the energy that they play in going forward, for the rest of the year. And those young guys have brought that to the attention of probably the veteran players as well.
It's one thing that was really interesting in this game, and that is the Rockets come in shooting 40% of their shots at the rim and 40% of their shots as threes. They're the only team in the NBA that's basically ever done that. I actually did a project many years ago where I tried to build the optimum shot distribution of an NBA team. That's it. 40% of your shots at the rim, 40% of your shots as threes, 20% of your shots as mid-range. That's the perfect optimum percentage. The Rockets only got 31% of their shots at the rim tonight. Jazz threw out 48 minutes of centers tonight in a league that everybody thinks is going small, and it really matters.
That really matters, and we were wondering about that. You got 3 7-footers. All three of them have shot blocking ability. All three of them are very good rebounders there as well. So going forward here, Udoka is probably going to be the odd man out, but exactly what he can do if one of those other guys go down.
So interesting. Mike Conley talked earlier today about January and how incredible it is. He said, it hit the lowest point when we suddenly played Cleveland without any big guys. This entire team and system is built on big guys running the floor, built on big guys rolling the basket. You saw that tonight, and I thought the coaching staff did a nice job tonight getting all three of the guys in.
Yeah, without a doubt. You expect Rudy to get the starting nod, and I didn't expect for him to play the 30-something minutes in the ball game as well. But I was impressed that Quinn gave Udoka about 10 minutes tonight, and he responded. I mean, he knows that he's probably the third center on this team, but just wait. You never know what might happen.
I don't think we're ever going to play Trent Forrest along with Royce O'Neal and Daniel House because nobody can really score. But we begin to have multiple defensive players. We begin to have a good defensive player on the floor at all times. Like one of the things was happening to us earlier this year is when Royce left the floor, there wasn't really a number one defender out there. And so suddenly guys were being asked to do things they weren't supposed to with House, with Royce. And I think if I watched it correctly, that I thought that Royce and what did they end up? Royce ended up playing 28 minutes and House ended up playing 17. That's getting awfully close to the all 48 minutes. I almost have a feeling that those two are going to be staggered. And so at some point, you always have a primary defender. If you have Trent Forrest on the floor as well, you now have two primary defenders on the floor. That dramatically changes who we are in the perimeter than what we were before.
Yeah, that's not relying on Royce to have to defend the best player on every team. I mean, now if Royce is on the floor with Trent Forrest can be the primary defender, and Royce O'Neal can take the second, and that's going to work out very well for the Jazz, and because Trent Forrest is a very, very perimeter defensive player.
Well, this was the number one offensive team in the league against the number 30 defense. It looked like it for much of the night. The Jazz offensive rating was a 152 at the end of one, a 165 at halftime, a 140 at the end of three. This was a complete whitewash. It's exactly what they should have done, and the Jazz do that. And Tyson Ewing tells me that the Jazz had a double-digit lead for 42 of the 48 minutes tonight. Wow. That's really hard to do. That's not a very close contest. This was not. Happy Valentine's Day to all Jazz fans. And
you go home, David.
I mean, all I did
was.
What's my crime? Is my crime eating the granola too fast? Or is my crime actually telling this? Yeah. All right, so here's you know what the real problem is, Ron?
What?
The keys to the van inside the house.
Ah!
If I had the van,
just go sleep in the van.
Just come home, door be locked. Little granola problem. I have granola in the van. That'd be good.
Kimmy.
Honey, I love you. I believe the text messages were, should I read the exact, should I get in more trouble? Let's get in more trouble.
You better hang up.
Let's get in more trouble. Here was the exact, I had to drive the blanks. So FYI, I'm listening. Those roses won't make up for how you just killed me on the radio. Got that going